Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome those who are new. My name is Rav, and today we're going to be going over something brand new from Riot Games known as Project K, otherwise also known as the League of Legends trading card game. So the League of Legends trading card game currently had a trial event that was in TFT Macau. People got to play it. We got a little bit base rules that came out so we could sort of play it ourselves on Tabletop Simulator. And we're going to sort of go over those rules and what that sort of means and pretty much go over a sample game for you today. Now, currently, there are 4 champions available. You have Jinx, which is Fury and Chaos, otherwise known as Red and Purple. You have Victor, which has Mental, which is blue, or Order, which is yellow. Yasuo, which is Calm, green, or Chaos, which is purple. And Volibear, which is Fury, red, physical, orange. So note there's a couple different overlapping, so you could take some cards from these trial decks and sort of interchange them into one another. But these will help you choose how you will build your deck. Now, for pretty much starting to build our deck, we have to first pick our champion legend. So these are abilities that link to the champion that we're going to choose to be our leader, so to speak, of our deck. In this case, we're going to pick Loose Cannon Jinx. This will tell us we'll be using the Fury and Chaos runes to build our deck. As you can tell here, we have the red and purple. And then next, we pick the matching champion unit. Since we have a Jinx legend, we now pick the Jinx champion card, and this is what's going to be used to base off our deck building. From here, we could build a 40 card deck. The 40 card deck consists of 3 max copies of any card, including 1 copy of your champion. So in this case, it's going to be a 39 card main deck, and your 1 champion card, which is going to be placed off to the side. After that, we're going to go ahead and assemble our rune deck. Rune deck, which is a max size of 12. Currently, we're using 6 Fury runes and 6 Chaos runes. Inside the current rule state, it doesn't state whether or not we can mix or match runes. So right now, we're going to go with 6 and 6 for ease of simplicity. Now finally, we have our battlefield deck. These are colorless battlefields, which are used sort of to determine where you're going to be fighting over during the game match. And with these ready, we're ready to start the game. Now, in order to start our game, it requires shuffling our main deck, shuffling our rune deck, and then we draw 4 cards from our main deck. Then you and your opponent will go ahead and shuffle up your battlefield deck, or choose one if you're playing a best of 3 format, and present it to the middle face down. This will help determine who goes first. You can do this via dice roll or agreed upon method like rock, paper, scissors, flipping a coin, or anything other that is agreed upon beforehand. The chosen player then gets to go ahead and go first. Both battlefields are flipped up, and then you can choose to mulligan. So mulliganing is done by picking 2 cards to recycle, which is otherwise known as putting cards from wherever they are, hand or play, to the bottom of your deck. And then you get to draw up to 2 new cards. Note, you can only mulligan once per game. So make sure you go ahead and make sure you want to use it properly. Now we can go ahead and start the game. Player 1 will draw 1 card from their main deck and play 2 runes in the ready position from their rune deck. Ready position is stared up, otherwise known as vertical. From here we can do a couple things. For the sake of this video, we will choose to play Chemtech Enforcer. To do this, we exhaust 2 runes indicated here in the top left. To pay this, you can either use any combination of runes. They do not have to all be Fury. So in this case, we will pay 1 Fury rune and 1 Chaos rune. And then when this unit enters field, they're going to enter exhausted. All units on summoning, unless otherwise stated, enter the field exhausted in the tapped horizontal position. With nothing left, we go ahead and pass the turn over to our opponent. And now since our opponent is going second, for their first turn, they get an additional rune. This means that they're going to go ahead and draw their 1 main card, flip over 2 runes for their turn, and then flip an additional 1, signifying that they're the second player on their first turn. Our opponent shows them to play a card and then pass the turn back to us, their unit going ahead and enter exhausted as well. Once again, we start our turn, drawing 1 card from the main deck and play 2 runes from the rune deck. This cycle will continue every turn going forward for the rest of the game. Now that we have 4 runes, we'll choose another card. In this case, we're going to cast our Misfortune. Now with our cost here of 4, she has an additional cost indicated here below the rune cost. This is a recycle rune. And showing purple, it means we must recycle one of our Chaos runes to the bottom of the deck. You can go ahead and recycle either an untapped or readied or our exhausted rune for this purpose. With her ability, she moves to an open battlefield. And since she is the only unit here, now she conquers it. When you conquer a battlefield, you gain a point. With the remainder of our turn, we can choose either to move our Enforcer to the other battlefield, the same one as Misfortune, or pass the turn. We will choose to move the Enforcer to the other open battlefield, gaining another point. With no further actions, we will go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Our opponent is now ready, chooses to move their unit to the same battlefield as our enforcer, engaging in a showdown. When a showdown triggers, when I defend abilities are activated first, followed by when I attack triggers. Either one of these triggers can be responded to cards that have the reaction keyword. When both players pass, now you can play spells or play any cards that have a hidden keyword activated on the battlefield. Spells are played back and forth until both players pass. When both players pass, the spell is resolved and continues on the stack until all spells and reactions are resolved. Once the spell phase is finished, we now fight. Each player takes the sum of the might of the units and divides that as total damage to the opposing units. Any damage done to a unit by spells prior to this does not affect their might damage. If the unit is assigned might greater than or equal to their might, it dies. And at the end of combat, all units that didn't die return to full health. Our opponent has killed our enforcer and is taking control of the battlefield, earning them a point. With our opponent passing the turn back to us, we ready our cards and move on to the check held battlefields phase. Since Misfortune has held the battlefield, she granted us another point, and with the turns continue as before until we have a winner. Now, in order to win the game, there's a few criteria that must be met. You must have 8 points in order to win. To get to 8 points, the final point must be scored in one of 3 ways. First, your 8th point is gained by holding a battlefield. Second, you conquer both battlefields in a single turn. If you only conquer one battlefield at 7 point totals, you instead draw a card and do not gain your 8th point. Finally, your 8th point can also be gained by your opponent decking out. They shuffle their trash into their main deck again, and gaining you your 8th and final point. Now, I know this is a lot to digest, and we'll go over it more as I create more videos talking a little bit of nuances in the game and interactions. But in all of this, you got a good look into what Project K is and how to play the game. If you liked the video, please make sure to hit the like or subscribe button, or even comment on any other Project K videos you'd like to see. If you'd like to try the game yourself, as I mentioned before, Willow, over on the Project K community Discord, has made a tabletop simulator workshop mod that you can download and try the game for yourself. So make sure to go ahead and check that out over on the Steam page if you haven't already. With that being said, I hope to catch y'all next time. Peace!